Hi, friends.
Hello. Sorry, let me finish up something real quick.
No.
Well, after this, I gotta eat dinner. I know. I just wanted to I just wanted to get plans for dinner.
Too bad. Hi, friends.
Well, now that we're in a Christmas mood,
I know.
how about a redo?
Rewind. Reboot.
But
Merry Christmas, friends.
I was like more about like our second chance. Kind of like
Are you
it's
saying? Are you saying this is? We've done this episode twice.
now,
Mm-hmm.
and that this one's gonna possibly be better than the first
100%.
because we're in.
I don't know what you want me to do with this.
Christmas spirit. We just sang under
I
the
did it?
tree.
Okay, when you're like, we're in, and I'm like, huh?
Okay, well, Sean's not in Christmas
Oh my god,
spirit.
I am in Christmas spirit. I just got off work. Anyways,
Today, we're talking about Twice.
upon a Christmas, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
Thank you.
If you haven't guessed by the title of the episode, the thumbnail of the title, or if you saw last week's episode where we said that we're going to go over Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas this week.
Or if you just started watching this or listening to this and then I kept referencing to twos, dose, die, redo,
Well,
stuff indicating
okay,
two.
okay. Leave the sarcasm behind and let's move on to the episode.
Is this an episode of puns?
Oh god, it probably is.
At least
Okay.
we're not finishing each other's.
I'm not gonna do it. Sandwiches.
But we wouldn't do that because
No, we can't even hug again.
we can't even hug.
Ugh.
Also, we love food too much. We're finishing our own damn sandwiches.
Facts. Anyways, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
Okay.
Obviously, the superior one between the two.
Yes, by far. My
Okay,
favorite.
Okay. What's the one thing that you like about it more than the first one?
Figure skating.
Okay, yes.
Figure skating.
Yes, the first short is figure skating.
Figure skating.
I like that there's more than 3 stories.
Also, I love the last story.
Megan hates the last story. It makes her sad.
I mean, yes, it makes you sad, but I feel like I relate too much to that story.
Megan's favorite is Goofy's. The one about Goofy and Max.
Max. That one's just funny to me because honestly, that's kind of how I feel if I ever bring anyone in the family now.
Yeah.
Especially the ex.
What I like, okay, this is one difference between the two that I like that was kind of subtle. The first one, when they did like the stories and stuff, like they had it between Goofy and like Max when he was little, and this one it was between Goofy and Max as he's like an adult, and I thought that was cute.
Now the real thing is, why haven't the ducks grown up?
Okay, I can say the same thing for everyone else. No one else has aged except for Max.
I know.
And somehow someone fucked a goof.
You just had to bring that back.
Yes, I had to. One yuck later.
Well, I mean, if we're going off of the joke, Minnie was
Nope.
the one.
Nope.
Fucking Goofy.
No, not that stupid joke.
Yes, that stupid joke.
No one's seen. There's like this joke on the internet where like this judge is like, wait, so Mickey, you're saying that you're divorcing Minnie because she's really crazy? And he responds, no, Judge, I'm divorcing her because she's fucking goofy. I need to blurb that out. Oh my god. I need to blurb that now. Damn it.
No, because blank to Goofy.
Although, really quick. No, actually, no, it's too late for that. Nope, never mind. I'll be the next episode we do.
Oh?
I'll tell you later. Anyways, no. What were your thoughts on the animation? Because this movie came out in 2004.
Honestly, the animations were not that bad.
No, it's like I think this was like one of Disney's first computer-generated animations.
It was pretty nice.
Because it was 2004. Megan hated it, and she figured out why. because especially like in the ice skating one, if you look at any of the characters except for the ducks, they have no lips. Their mouth, like their skin, their face skin, just morphs and curves into their mouth.
Huh.
And it's really uncanny for her, and it bothers her.
I don't think I noticed that.
I didn't either. I'm like, this looks great. I'm like, this is like the precursor to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Okay. Also, growing up as a child, I loved figure skating. Like, my dream goal was to become a professional figure skater.
If you don't know this, I advise you check out our episode on Ice Princess.
Where you're going to find out, apparently,
What kind of guy she wants.
yeah, it has everything I want: romance, ice skating, hobbies, because she's a major nerd.
And sticking it to your mom.
Yeah, everything I love in one movie.
Okay, no, I want us to talk about that. We're going to talk about the ice skating. We have to.
Okay,
Here's
Minnie has the better figure skating dress,
yes.
but Daisy, like, overall would have had the better performance if if Daisy didn't get jealous. And
I'll trust you on that. She has a little bit more flair.
also, Daisy has to wear a hat or a bow. She looks too weird without something on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because when she took off her crown, I was like, oh God, bald Daisy. Not a good look.
I find it interesting how they brought in the alligators and the hippos from Fantasia. That to me was like really funny. And I think the whole story is cute, except for the weird thing with the present at the end. That was really weird.
Where they came out of the present?
Yeah, somehow magically.
Well, that was because it was Daisy's prop.
I mean, yeah, but somehow also having the matching white outfits.
Like
I understand
the
it was just
hippos came in there, and then it's probably like you push it up, and then it becomes this present thing, and there's like little doors inside that the alligators and hippos could have jumped out of, and then there's also like a little storage compartment. We'll just assume that this is like the Mary Poppins of a present bag for ice skating presentation. It's great.
What if Minnie had this plan from the beginning and purposely did this to have that huge showcase and so her Daisy would win?
Also, I gotta put it this way: when they were doing their leaps,
No comment.
I don't think Minnie had a plan.
I'm trying to be like, okay, fine. Don't just create random theories with me in headcanons.
Sorry, I wanted to get this thought out before I forget about it.
Go.
Anyways, their leaping competition was dumb
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
not actual like.
Well,
real.
and Minnie was a little dumb for deciding to cover her eyes.
Well, yes, but also like the jumps were not like very figure skate-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to that, I don't think Minnie had it planned from the start. I think she's got to improv.
Here's the thing why I bring that up. They knew that Daisy, from the beginning, we were told Daisy and Minnie are supposed to be performing.
Mm-hmm.
And they allude that Minnie's is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But that would mean that Daisy was never going to go in the first place. So that makes my thought process of why would Daisy be there to perform if she wasn't going to?
Good question.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now you see here.
But I could have sworn like they expected Daisy to perform.
Daisy did. But I swear from how they were announcing Minnie that they alluded to her being the last one to perform.
Mm,
Because they were like, and
when
now
they alluded, well, okay, when they were announcing Minnie onto the rink,
they were like, and now for our own little hometown darling, sure to be a showstopper.
I think that they were just like alluding to like, the big thing,
Hmm.
but not like
Okay.
I think they were just like alluding that Minnie's obviously the better skater out of the competition.
Yeah. I don't know. I always like interpreted it as like they were intending Minnie to be the last one. I don't know.
I did not allude it that way.
Okay. Well, that just shows how interpretations can differ. But no, I like the figure skating one. It is honestly like one of my favorites. So I remember seeing the previews for this movie, and wanted to see it for years. I wanted to see it, and I never got the chance to see it until my family got Netflix when I was in high school.
Really?
Yep, I always have wanted to see this. I remember the previews, everything, and I was so excited to be able to finally watch it.
I watched this every year, and I think it's because I have it on VHS.
I never got to see it until my family got Netflix, and I
Okay.
wanted to see it so badly.
If I find the VHS tape, we're watching it.
Even though we just watched it for this episode because it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but we'll watch it together again. Yeah, that was better.
But no, I love the figure skating one. I also love Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Like, okay, I love all of these stories.
All of the stories are pretty good.
I made Megan feel bad during the one about Donald specifically.
Also, Donald shows up a lot in this one,
That's because he has two stories.
but he also shows up in the first one.
Yeah, okay, I see your point. He shows up in like three of them.
Mm-hmm. Because he's carrying Daisy's prop in the
Ugh.
first one.
And he kind of shows up in the last one as like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the crew shows up and stuff to help look for Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's only really like one that he doesn't really show up in.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wow. He shows up more than Mickey.
Yeah.
And yet this is Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas? Mickey, you attention whore.
Well, he is the star of the show.
Tell that to Daisy. And she'll get jealous. If Donald's not already jealous.
Tell that to a cactus, we know.
Fact. But no. I really like okay. So besides the ice skating one, which one's your next favorite?
Um,
Like if you had to rank the stories.
I'm honestly gonna put the last one second.
Fair.
And probably Huey, Dewey, and Louie third. Because I think there's a valuable lesson to be learned. Max is fourth, and Donald's is fifth.
See, I would go ice skating as one. Huey, Dewey, Louie. Max and Goofy. Mickey and Pluto. Donald is last. I like Donald, like I kind of relate to Donald, but I personally think Donald's the victim here. I don't think he did anything wrong. It was all Daisy being unreasonable. Cause I actually was talking with Megan when we saw this one because I actually looked around and said I actually relate to Donald a little bit in this one. I understand him in this one because he just got home from doing his thing. He just wants a moment to relax, have a moment to himself, self care, bring in some stillness. And Daisy did not support him. She treated his needs as if they didn't matter. Like he probably would have had no problem going to the mall and stuff and seeing the Christmas display or whatever if he was just given a moment to relax. Given Donald's already a hothead. And Daisy did him dirty. Especially since they didn't even want to hear him out for what happened at the mall. Like that would be terrified.
Honestly, it makes me think of the movie Christmas with the Cranks.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'm actually planning to watch it this Christmas season, so don't.
Shit, I want to talk about it.
No spoilers.
But the repetitious of like, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
That would drive me insane.
Yeah, no, it That's like cuz that's how I relate to Donald because that's how I feel about Christmas.
That's how I feel about Mariah Carey's freaking song that comes up every year. All I want for Christmas is
Is
you.
you. Honestly, I don't think about that song too much.
I I literally change the radio station when that comes on.
I just try to not acknowledge Christmas.
I thought you liked Christmas.
I do and I don't. It's a weird thing. Like I'm okay with decorating, but I really don't want to listen to the music. And I really don't want to deal with the family portion because it's just all too mentally taxing.
I get that.
That's how I relate to Donald is just like
my
the
la-
overwhelming mentally taxing portion.
my last so I think I brought this up last week. My family does a lot of stuff for Christmas. And like my family's the type of family where my parents will invite people that don't really have much on the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
My last Christmas that I spent with them, they had so many people over. Like, there's my six initial family members between me, my siblings, and my parents. Then you add in like my grandfather, his wife, my dad's family friends, which add another four. So we're already at that like equal to my family's numbers, and then there was more people on top of that. And people got upset with me because I was just retreating up to my bedroom, and they're like, "Why the hell is he up there, not downstairs or whatever?" and stuff. And I'm like, "There's so many people downstairs. It was way too much. Like you're piling everyone into the kitchen and downstairs area. That's not a lot of space, and it's just loud."
And you've been to my grandparents' house. Like, we basically get the same thing for Christmas every year. And, like, there's actually space at my grandparents' house, but they have so much furniture. It feels like there's not enough space.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, there's a lot of furniture in that place.
Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like walking through an auditorium almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have to go somewhere. So essentially, it's just like grab a drink, sit down, like, make sure you grab all three drinks or bring the whole bottle at that point.
Because you're not gonna be able to get back up.
Yeah. Until dinner time.
Yeah, but like the thing I like about Christmas is I really like just the happy childlike feelings it gives me. Like,
Don't get that.
well, like me and Megan have been talking a lot about Santa, especially with the baby. And like when it comes to us, like that topic of like I think I brought this up last week about with Max is short.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that feeling of like it just makes me happy. Like I like Santa, the idea of like I will be like the idea of Santa being real versus not real. One of those makes me more happy than the other and stuff. And like I get the same kind of joy with Christmas music
Mm.
and stuff, depending on the song. Like my favorite one nowadays to listen to is "It's Beginning to
Look a
Look a
lot
Lot
like
Like
Christmas
Christmas
everywhere
everywhere you go." I say that just that bit every time it snows.
like yesterday.
Shut up.
How'd you feel
Shut up.
about that?
I didn't have to walk in it, so I'm fine.
Fair enough.
That's all I care about. I don't want to walk in it yet.
It might snow again tonight.
Shut up.
Hmm.
Shut up.
And I don't have school tomorrow. Whoop, whoop.
That's because your classes are on Tuesday.
Yep, and I get to work at home. So guess who's staying cozy?
But no, there's certain songs I just can't stand. Like more or less, I really don't care for Kelly Clarkson's "Underneath the Tree."
Okay, it's just been stuck in my head all week though. I don't know why.
Okay, for reference, guys, every before we record, we always like try to sing a song to see if we get a good recording of us singing a song as like our test recording to make sure everything's working. And today we did "Underneath the Tree," and someone went a little belty. She belted loud.
It was good though.
If we weren't clipping, it would have been good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just couldn't catch my vocal range.
I think it's less your range and more like your
My
vocal
volume.
amplitude.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a good thing in the context of singing. You have a voice that projects.
Thank you, Grandma, who got her master's in music.
But anyways, no, I really
Let's go into Max's story.
Max's story is it's weird. Okay, these father son dynamic things that keep popping up, I can't help but they hit different now because I used to always like be on Max's side a little bit because I wasn't a dad.
I was gonna
But now I'm
say,
noticing I'm freaking on Goofy's end of it now. I'm like, son, what's wrong?
I was like, how, like, have you, like, did you imagine, like, when you were watching that, like, Lyndon possibly all grown up bringing a girl home for the first time? And then, like, there's the baby pictures of him on the wall.
Yes and no. Like, not so specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, there's going to be a time where he does bring someone home. And I'm like, it makes me more work because the thing with Max is has nothing to do with him. It's his perception of his father. Like, he's embarrassed of his father.
Yes.
And I,
I love how his girlfriend is responding to it, though, because she's like, I'm all in it.
right?
I'm all for Goofy.
But I would feel like I would hate it if Lyndon was embarrassed of me. I would hate it. I would feel so sad.
I mean, I'm Max in that case. Like, I definitely, like, this is why I've never, like, really brought any significant other over to my grandparents. I rarely even bring my friends over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to my, well, more to my mom's, but my grandparents, I feel more okay. Like, I've been feeling more okay to bring them over to my grandparents' house because I mean, you've been there before.
I've had a lot of interactions with your grandma where she keeps thinking we're dating.
No, my grandma definitely doesn't think that.
Not anymore. At
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk about that after the podcast because of what my grandma did, and I think I've told you this story before.
Possibly.
I'll just say it involves a marker in a box.
Not ringing a bell.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, I was like, that is not to bring on the podcast. And that's probably why my grandma was like worried about you at first. Kind of funny. But we will definitely talk about that afterwards. Sorry, viewers. It's a story not for you. I have a secret. Who knew?
But anyways, no. Megan, the Max and Goofy one is Megan's favorite because in her mind, it's the cutest one to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ice skating one to Megan is just the ice skating one, and she liked like how Huey, Dewey, and Louie like put like Scrooge first.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that part was cute and a little bits of funniness. And the Pluto one just made her sad, and so did the Donald one.
Well, kind of going back on forgetting the story that I'm going to tell you about afterwards, but going more on Max's story, um I'm trying to like
What was your favorite part of that story?
honestly watching his, because when I first watched it, like I related too much to Max.
Mm-hmm.
So this time I paid more perspective to the girlfriend and realized the girlfriend was actually having the time of her life. And she was just like, it's
It
fine, just come join
it's
us.
it's cute because she showed how invested she was in Max.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't reacting to like the baby picture of Max in like a making fun of him kind of way. Like she absolutely like she loved Max so much. Like she was in love with that baby picture. Like, oh my god, he's so cute. This is such a cute picture of him. She's invested in him.
But like also the other thing that I was paying attention to, and I think this is just because I spend a lot of time having to reflect upon my emotions every week as I'm going to have therapy tomorrow. But like thinking about it, like in Max's perspective and after my diagnoses, I can kind of see myself in Max of just like that sense of embarrassment and the fact he's like wanting to hide a portion of his life that like would inflict a different emotion than what he's
Mhm.
expecting, and
When the
hinting
expectation does not meet the reaction, like your thought, like expectation versus reality.
when it's not, when it's not going to meet that positive reaction that you're hoping for, and so he's doing things to avoid it. You see where I'm going here?
Think so.
Avoidant personality disorder. And so I'm seeing characteristics of that in Max.
Well, yeah, and
N-
he, but he's the whole thing is he's embarrassed of his dad, and he
well,
thinks his
yes.
dad is embarrassing him. Like he wants there to be such a good reaction for like make a good impression on Mona, and he is convinced that Goofy is messing it up,
Well,
and
and
he's getting the blunt of it.
well, yes, there's that. But I'm like also just thinking of the perspective of like someone who has AVPD, that's the initials that we give it. Is that like what he was doing was trying to like essentially either disassociate from the situation so he couldn't see the outcome, so that way his girlfriend wasn't going to like give him the dissatisfaction or the fear of that,
Mm-hmm.
or he was trying to completely change the situation to where he was going to have the reaction he was hoping for.
Yeah,
And then he just had to kind of get out of that fear of embarrassment and, disassociation of disapproval, and just kind of come to realizing that, she's like, it's all okay. And so he had to kind of drive away from that fear. it it's multiple emotions. Not saying he has AVPD at all, but like he's definitely showing a lot of signs of what it would look like for someone with that. And it was just kind of interesting to like see how, cuz I actually act like that on Christmas pretty much. um Also, like, this is where it brought down to the conversation of why I don't want to bring my friends over or my like, or my significant other over when I go to see my family or things like that.
yeah.
And it's because of like, we know how my family talks
Mm.
and I don't want them to like, I have the sense of embarrassment, but then there's also like, I know how my family's going to react to certain things, and I don't want to know their reaction to that. Like, especially with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big one.
Yeah. Part of so this year I reconnected with my family
Yeah.
and stuff, and things have been going great. But I remember when I saw them for the first time, I was more terrified than anything
Of what
of
they're going to
them.
think of you.
Exactly. Like I kept on like it shifted from me like I don't want to say like being scared of them,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like scared of them like being angry at
Reacting.
me
Yeah.
when I got there at the decisions I made. Like
And
is like what I did at first when I moved out was I reacted one way and my reasoning was a certain way, but over time of me being away, subconsciously that reasoning shifted to exactly that. I was terrified for dear life to go back out of fear of that rejection. It's like the prodigal son.
yeah. Well, and then that's kind of what it's like um on my day-to-day life, but that's also what it was like for Max. It's that fear for himself, not
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah,
anything, cuz like I don't want to lose my friends because of like, something that's going to like who's going to
yeah,
react in my
yeah. He didn't
family.
want to lose Mona,
Yeah. Like, I don't want to lose my partner. I don't want to lose my friends because of how my grandparents or my mom may act, Not
so if
to,
he leaves, then it's not happening.
yeah.
But it's like a Schrodinger's cat, you know, like while he's away, both things are happening simultaneously. He's both losing but not losing, and it's not until he heads back or opens the box does he know what's happening.
Yeah.
It's a Schrodinger situation.
And that's just why I like really kind of thought on this story the most during the movie, was just like relating it to what I've been doing for years,
Yeah.
and not even realizing that's what I've been doing for years, because like my Christmas now is just like trying to disassociate from my family, because they know I go to a private Christian university, and they want to like know everything about how God has impacted my life through going to a Christian university. And
It's giving me time away from you.
yeah, and then they want to know all of my successes about work, and it's like, yeah, I have a lot of successes at work, but I don't really think about that. I just like I'm already going to be naturally career driven, so I don't really feel like it's much of a success yet until I finally feel fulfilled, and I don't feel fulfilled right now. So I'm like,
You're earning your big bucks.
yeah. Not until I'm a controller or a CFO or a CEO or COO,
A C, a C and an O.
being a chief officer of some sort. But yeah, I'm not going to get that satisfaction until in economics is so funny about this, because there is a point where money will make you happy. And if you're below the threshold, you're never going to feel fulfilled until you're there. But if you're above the threshold, then you're not going to feel happy either. Which is why people then who are typically in the higher, above that threshold, are giving away their money, because they have so much money that they don't know what to do with it. And so it's kind of like a happy ground you have to find. And so, like, I always have my goals kind of like set in that way, and it always has been. And for me, it's more of like, I'll be happy once I know I own a house and I can live through retirement without having to work. Like, it's those two things. And I know right now I can't, because I think about all my debt that I have. And I'm like, I still have to grow. Like, I need to move up in the company so I can make enough money so I can go buy my house and I can pay off my debt.
That's kind of same thing for me. Like weirdly enough, in a very different field kind of way. Like same kind of trajectory.
Yeah.
Like I could see a world where I become like a chief nurse,
Yeah.
which is a different type of CO in your world.
I mean, you can literally make anything a chief officer.
Mm. But like I'm literally bottom of the nursing totem pole right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I could be higher at work, honestly, but I feel pretty content with the work that I'm doing right now.
That's me right now, and quite literally, my dissatisfaction comes from a money standpoint. That's quite literally where my dissatisfaction comes from.
Well, and
Not
the
gonna lie,
funny
I think
thing is, like, I have the education to where I could move up for sure.
I'm still
Like,
working on that.
yeah, because I mean, I have the bachelor's degree. In a few months, I'm going to have the master's degree.
You'll become a master of economics,
No, business administration in
master of business. Is
business administration in executive leadership.
you're a master of
I
executive
can lead.
because you need a degree to do that.
I need a degree to lead and be powerful. It's the funniest thing to say ever. Honestly, what's even more funny is like when I write papers about my leadership style, because my professors are like, "You are spot on, but please, for the love of God, take a writing class." And I'm like, I just don't know how to communicate. Like,
I noticed
yeah.
our conversation before recording.
Like, my actions are much better at leading than me like physically saying or writing down how I want to lead, because I'm like, it's a picture in my head. Everything is a picture. Like, I read books, I'm seeing the whole land in my head. When I'm looking at math, I'm physically like seeing it print out like a screen. I'm like, when I'm picturing management, I'm seeing the entire team in my head, and what they're going to be doing now and what they're going to be doing for the next 10 years, and how that whole thing is going to play out. And so it's just like, not saying I'm a few like a fortune teller, but I'm just saying, like, given by what I know, this is what it should look
Yeah.
like. And I can also see, like, in that path, people's advancements and achievements and, like, what I want them to achieve within the
You have
company.
such a manager brain.
I do. And okay, I hate to put it, but, like, I'm actually in love with it.
Before you get too carried away talking about business, I'm going to circle us back to Christmas.
No.
And before we move on with anything, New Year's Eve, we're gonna do a live stream
Oh, yes, we are doing a live stream.
on New Year's Eve because it was January 1st of this year that we recorded our very first episode on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
So we're going to welcome you
Here.
into our second
Year.
fiscal year.
Just our second year.
Fiscal year.
We're not earning money yet.
We're not earning money yet, but you know what? We're talking about it as a business, baby.
Into our second year by doing a
Fiscal
New Year's
year.
live stream where we'll just gonna sit down, talk, possibly have guests.
You know, should we also do maybe a giveaway?
Oh, we should.
Because we still have some fun things.
Lots of fun things.
So how about if we
If you attend the live stream, there will be a giveaway.
yeah, attend the live stream. And you
It's
might
gonna
win
be fun.
something.
We're just gonna chill out, hang out.
We'll put stuff on Instagram and all our other social medias about how to enter besides just watching the live stream.
Yep. And there may be bonus entries through the live stream. So, anyways, that's our plug for our live stream. Make sure you attend.
Yep.
It'll start 9 p.m. Pacific. So, sorry, East Coast, you'll already be at New Year's.
And you're going to be staying up real late.
But we don't want it to be too long. But it'll be a 3-hour live stream. So,
Yeah.
come hang out.
It'll be a long night for us.
Yes, it will. But, anyways, back to Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
Yes.
Okay, really quick. Please tell me you found the bus or train ride funny. With Max like sleeping in like the constant changing of positions.
I honestly like
Do you not remember that?
no, I did. I
thought
just
it's hilarious, especially when he has his butt towards Mona.
I just didn't think too much about that.
I just thought it was funny.
I started thinking about Pluto on the train.
No. Pluto's story is sad.
I
It-
love
it-
Pluto's story because it hits hard.
It hits hard to any pet owner,
Well,
given his nature.
also like if you kind of think about it, you know, we before you had a child, but you know, we often think of our pets as like our children.
Yep.
And you know,
2 furry children.
yes, I
Have 3.
guess I have 3. Also, hold on, do I have the picture? It was so cute.
No, hold on.
No, let me show you.
We got pictures of a cat. Oh my god, cats. Can I show them?
Yeah.
Look at the pictures of the cats. If it will
So that is Tor and Percy.
Nope, is it gonna
You gotta. Anyways, there's 2 fuzzy cats hanging out on my bed together.
Sorry everyone for just shoving cats in your face even though they never focused.
So anyways, in that picture, I was in my room, I was reading my book because I'm literally at the last 4 chapters right now. I'm very happy. It's going every way that I wanted to at the moment. So yes. But besides that, Tor, it belongs to my roommate, and Tor comes in my room. Percy is chilling on his spot. He's vibing, he's purring away, not cuddling anyone. Tor, I think, has adopted me in his head. He is cuddling me, and I'm like, no, buddy, you're too warm. So I get him off of me. He goes and starts cuddling my cat. So I took a picture of the 2 of them cuddling together.
So I'm gonna get a little bit deep with Pluto's story.
No, I was too.
So Pluto's story brings back a memory from when I was little. Like I say like second, third grade.
Mhm.
And I remember because my dad got really angry at me. And I was a child and I was a very gullible child and took everything very literally.
Mhm.
And I remember my dad yelling at me in anger for me to get out of the house and don't come back. Because my dad's a very big hothead. He just is.
He's a Donald.
He is a Donald, and Nuri, like, not holding anything against him. Like, he'll sometimes just get so angry that he forgets what happens and stuff. And I remember actually, so I like went out of the house and I actually started to like walk down the street and down the hill, and I was crying because I didn't know where to go because my dad told me to go away. And like it makes me sad, like seeing that with Pluto and Mickey, because Mickey did the same thing because he did go overboard with decorations.
Mhm.
You know, I'll agree on that one and stuff. But Pluto's a dog. Yeah, he can understand human speech, but he's a dog. And dogs are gonna do what dogs are gonna do. And like I don't know, like I have a tough time when it comes to anger of that level because so many hard things can be said.
Mhm.
Like me and Megan have had fights. I have never gone to that level with her. Like I have told her I am upset or this made me feel angry,
Mhm.
but I have never done an outburst like that. She has done outbursts on me, but we are two different people, and we've managed to learn how to do conflict together and stuff as our relationship has grown.
I don't know. I think about this story and like I think about my relationship I've had with some family members
Mm-hmm.
because there's been outbursts towards me. I have outbursted towards them
Yep.
multiple times. And then I also think about like the other factors besides just what was going on at home
Mm-hmm.
that led me to like being um angry and what led to my outburst and like part of it, wasn't related to the family because some of it was like other external factors like being bullied and a lot of like depression going on. And I didn't know this at the time because like mental health was not much of a thing for us until like we really became adults.
Yeah, like late high school is kind of when it really started picking up speed.
I didn't get help until college. Like I literally did not know about it at all till college.
I knew about it a little bit when I was like junior, senior year in high school, but is one thing to know of it on a very general outside sense.
Well, my family was always just like, you can't be depressed because, like, that just,
Your life is great.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I just kept feeling like something was always off. I'm like, why is it that everyone around me is always mean to me? And a lot of this is like, um, not thinking of life in a positive outcome, which is part of the depression, feeling down and hopeless about yourself. But, like, I was bullied every day. I was bullied from 3 till the end of high school. And then there were some abusive situations in between that. There was
There was a lot.
there was a lot, way too much. And so me being depressed as a child makes sense.
Yep.
And the other outcomes that came with that makes sense. And this is where the other parts of my diagnosis comes in because I can have outbursts of
Mm-hmm.
things, and it's normally just that pent up feeling from everything around, which is what Pluto is feeling. Because yeah, I definitely wanted to run away from home multiple times, but
That was me throughout high school as well, especially high school.
yeah, and but I also knew that there wasn't really going to be I knew there was always going to be a place for me to go, but like how I was going to get there, I was not going to walk to Idaho. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I probably could have called my grandma. And I think I like outbursted to my grandma or like to my mom one time like about moving to my grandparents, and then I realized like if I did that I was going to lose my scholarship, so I didn't. So like, like I said things, but then like I had to sit back and think about like what I had now that was going to help me with my future. And that was the other part of why I stayed back a lot, was just because I was like, there's all these opportunities that are right now holding on by these things, like just put it up with it for like a few more years, then you can leave. Like, and
I wish I had that.
that's what I kept telling myself for years. It's just like you have to deal with the neglect for like just this amount of time, and then you're going to go to the next best thing. Like, there's going to be a better part of the road.
See, for me, I was I didn't have that same thought process of like what do I have now, because the parts that were like what do I have now, I saw those as means of control,
Mm.
and I wanted to get away from that control. I didn't like it at all, and that's because
Well, I mean, I
me going
snuck
to
out of
Whitworth
that.
when I did was part of me trying to get away from it because it was across the state.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like I needed the financial help, and I saw that as a means of controlling me,
Yeah.
and I wanted to get away from it. I couldn't put up with it for the couple of years, having to spend a whole summer back being pushed back into that space because I wasn't somewhere living or working or whatever. I didn't officially move out, even though I probably could have and been in better graces or whatever. But that wasn't the thought process in my head
Yeah.
at the time. It was a lot of I can't take what I am receiving right now.
I honestly, I like, I probably, because I got accepted into Eastern, Central, and then Whitworth, and I could have applied to many more colleges in Washington, and I probably would have been accepted to them. I even could have done sports at Eastern, like, and gotten like a full ride for sports there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had many different opportunities, but I took what I felt like was going to benefit me the most, knowing who I am. And I thought Whitworth was my best option because of the fact that, like, I knew I was probably going to need to have a relationship with my professors because I didn't have the confidence. Even though knowing I had a really good GPA, I didn't have the confidence in myself that, I was going to be able to retain the information. And so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get the help that I wanted.
Whitworth was the only school I applied to, and it was the only, and I got right in because I liked every minute. It was my number one pick, and I realized that the reasons it was my number one pick were not the best reasons for what I was trying to achieve in life at that time.
Hmm.
Granted, it brought me to where I am now in this podcast and everything else, and you're my best friend, so it works out. But
The reasons, honestly, when I thought about colleges at first, Whitworth I was at the bottom for what I wanted, because I wanted, more of that separation as well. Um, I also wanted, um, at the time, like things that would allow me more freedom. But then I realized, like, anywhere I go in the state, I'm not gonna have like as much freedom, anyways, because like my family would still drive to see me, like, and nothing's gonna change
yeah,
because my family, they're all here in this area. And then, um, also, another reason why I put Whitworth on the bottom was because I had piano concerts there every year where I had to memorize 10 songs, played in front of a judge, and then get judged.
yep.
And so I was just like, I don't want to go here. But then once I started looking at what Whitworth had to offer, I thought that they were going to really understand me better as a student than any other university. And I thought that they were going to be the one to speak out to me and advocate for me. So eventually I chose Whitworth because I felt the best correlated to. And, I'm pretty sure, because like teachers do this, they don't tell us, but, I'm pretty sure in the undergrad there's multiple times they were just like, I'm surprised Jonelle, may or may have not, isn't like not out of the program yet because,
I remember my advisor actually asked me, "Why are you in this? Like, have you considered anything else?
yeah,
Like, this doesn't seem to fit you." And
because
I'm pretty sure they're not surprised to see that I'm out now, despite that I still play music and everything else and literally fall in love with it. By speaking of, I love the soundtrack of this movie.
but like I struggled with sorry, I was on the tangent, but no, that is very fair. Um,
I'm bringing it back later so we can talk about it.
yes. Um, but like I struggled with my accounting degree, there was multiple times, and a lot of that was other factors that I was dealing with that I should have not. And now this goes back to what we talked about previously 3 years ago. You know what reference I'm making to? The conversation we had in the elevator referencing to something 3 years ago in my life.
Mm,
Yes. Um, that time of my life was the lowest I was at, and
vague memory, yeah.
I wasn't excelling in school because I was I had a lot of other things on my mind, and school was not a priority. But funny thing is now that I have both of my degrees and I'm earning my master's, which is funny because I like definitely did not have a 3.0 going into my master's with my accounting degree. My business degree I did though. Um, but they still accepted me into the master's program knowing I didn't have a high GPA, and now I'm sitting at a with all A's.
To be fair, you're also like what, one class at a time?
Yeah, but these classes are also 6 weeks long.
I get it.
They're very short, very fast.
They're short, fast, and like the class periods are longer. But again, I feel like being able to focus in on one class does significantly more than being able to having so many classes at
Which
once.
I also take that into consideration too, because in the undergrad, I was definitely taking like 5 to 6 classes at a time.
That's the one thing that scares me, as I don't want to take that many classes again.
Yeah, and like I don't to be fair, I don't think you're going to go to a semester like we were because most of them do quarters where you're not taking that many classes.
Yeah, that's to be a nurse, like most community colleges, it's quarters and
Yeah.
stuff. There are some that are
So with
semesters, but that's going full, like nothing to a full bachelor's.
Yeah, so most universities often do quarters, so that way you can take 3 to 4 classes at a time. But Whitworth does semesters, so you can often take 5 to 7 classes at a time.
Yep, you just get an 18 credit limit.
Yeah, and so you really, unless you're in accounting, you can file to get up to a 20 credit limit. And if you're in accounting, the threshold to sit for your CPAs, you need 150 credits. And so I really strived for that. But at the same time, when you're working essentially a full time job, you're actually realizing your mental health for once in your life.
Yeah, because you were burnt. I
I
mean,
I was burnt on all edges.
because you had all your classes, all your schoolwork, plus your full time job, plus your social life, which by the time you were really like working your full time job, that took over everything.
Because I still had to take care of myself at the end of the day.
And get some sleep.
Yeah.
Some.
And then I was on top of that, like also dealing with all these mental health issues. And because I was actually seeking out help for the first time in my life. And I was also still dealing with the after effects of some abuse. And it just kind of came in a big wave all at once. And um, honestly, like when I was getting into the master's program, like I did talk about this openly with my advisors because I had to have a meeting to get into the master's program because of my GPA. and because they were worried I wasn't going to succeed for that reason. And so when I had my interview, I talked openly about those semesters that I really had a hard time, and um, I had to be honest about my failures in life.
Which honestly probably helped you in the business stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, it definitely helped. And like they
Sorry, trying to keep us lighthearted.
no, you're fine. And they saw someone who was growing. And that's something that universities love to look at, because when you're seeing business articles and things like that go around that Harvard is looking for students that's beyond the GPA, they're looking for things like that. Students who have um, goals and have hobbies, but like also have hardships to know that they're going to make it through. And, you know, seeing that there's some um growth in their life, and that it's emotional growth. Because we spend a lot of time like talking about that in the master's program, is this emotional intelligence. And my professor thinks I have a lot of emotional intelligence.
You
That's
do.
what he highlights in my papers. I just can't verbally say it very well.
Circling back. Yeah,
I could talk on forever
I
about
know.
this.
We both can.
Yeah.
But circling back to Christmas.
Underneath the tree tonight.
No. No, the soundtrack.
I know.
It was so good. Which one? Do you have a favorite song from it? Like the songs weren't like crazy obvious.
Okay, when you brought up the soundtrack, to be honest, I don't think I actually paid that much attention to the music and the.
Okay, let me highlight a couple. There's the credits song where it's like when
Oh.
yeah, you know that song. I love that song.
Mhm.
There's Goofy's short. It's basically an entirely one song
Mhm.
and stuff. It's a song, but it's also like Max's monologue.
Mhm.
It's great for that reason. Like this is one line where it's like this one line where it's like, all I ask is for just one big favor, that my dad be on his best behavior.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like
Okay.
that line specifically, I'm like, this is Max's monologue. Like we can see what's happening,
Mhm.
and the song is like adding it to us indirectly what's happening.
Yeah.
But like it's nice because there's moments where it is just there's no talking,
Yeah.
there's no interaction with the characters. You're just watching,
Yeah.
and then the soundtrack in the background, so it's not silence, but it's that same monologue without actually telling you, which
See,
is interesting.
this is why I never paid attention to the music, was because I was paying attention to what's on the screen, because these stories in Twice Upon a Christmas are way more like visually in depth,
Mm-hmm.
to like you don't really need to like focus so much on like some exterior things like for your other senses of sound. um but like the visuals are so great at storytelling.
The visuals are, but the thing is, the audio. The reason I'm highlighting audio is because it's different than a normal movie.
Mhm.
You know, like let's take the ice skating one. The music has this very like whimsical instrumental feel to it as like they're doing the competition,
Yeah.
but the way cinematically with the music when like they're doing the jumps,
Mhm.
and like there's that zoom in on that one guy's face when they're like intense with the like music and like Minnie crashing on the ball, she's like skiing on the bell or whatever. Like if that music wasn't there, that intensity would be there but not quite right.
Yeah.
And like
Well, and I think it's helpful that they used like a classical song for that too, kind of like the ding dong.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then you have like
Then
but
there.
like like it's like Donald's story.
Mhm.
Like obviously it's clear We Wish You a Merry Christmas was playing over and over, but like if you took that away, you wouldn't really know what was driving Donald insane other than all these things happening.
Yeah.
But it's having that tune through so many different mediums and it's speeding up and
Mhm.
up and up shifting so much, like
Like,
it's causing you to go insane. Like you can feel it, you experience it.
yes, like they're definitely using the music in forms of like crescendos and like how
But
to
it's
volumize and widen the music to bring out emotion.
different than a regular movie soundtrack, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Because again, like Goofy's, I love it so much um, because there isn't a lot of dialogue. You have the beginning
Mhm.
where like they're talking and Goofy's like, and Max is like, I'm kind of nervous for you to meet my dad. And he calls it out and he's like, this is going to be great. And it's all instrumental for I think the rest of the freaking movie.
Yeah.
For the rest of that scene, that whole short, it's all instrumental for the most part. And you're watching what's happening and like, yeah, silent film, you could get it. But the music does add this other layer of like that one line I shared. It's like you kind of get this other feeling with Max because a big thing with movies is show not tell.
Mhm.
And through this short, they're doing both, but it's not like regular telling. It's
It's like the music is a part of the animation
exactly.
because that is why I didn't pay attention to the music is because I already this okay. Sorry, I'm going to go back on this nerd reading tangent, but like when I visualize things, I'm also visually like also having the sound in there. Like when I used to manage a kitchen, like I'm already thinking of what everyone's going to come to ask me for, how they're going to say it, what my response is. I play out like whole scenarios of every audio thing that is going on in the background, like hearing the stove turn on, hearing timers in the background, hearing other people walk by the room and talk and have a conversation. When it's my
Mhm.
book, I'm like actively hearing like the water, the birds, all these other fun things like the fire going on, whatever it is. But like watching this, it was more of just like these were things that would already naturally be going when I'm watching the movies. Like
Mhm.
what I'm seeing in my head is that naturally occurring.
But back on McDonald's though, like this is how great the storytelling is. Because again, Donald's big thing is that he wants a chance to just rest, have a break, and stillness, and that wasn't respected.
Yeah.
And you can see that progressively.
With
It's
everyone cutting up on
it's like yeah,
getting
he's getting
faster.
like yes, he's getting more of a annoyed the song, but his own mental status is deteriorating because he doesn't have that moment. Now he gets thrown out of the mall. It's silent. He's on his own. Nothing is happening. You're not hearing that song anymore. And you have the choir. It's disjunct. It's not organized. It's unclear. That's Donald's brain.
Mhm.
The music is literally symbolic of Donald's mental status. Donald then starts conducting the choir, and everything smooths out. He's chill. It's clear. Everyone's enjoying it, having a great time, and Donald's happy.
Mhm.
Like the soundtrack is so symbolic through that, and I love how it was done. And
Mhm.
no, like ah, I love this. Ah,
It's so great how we nerd out on two completely different things.
but you get it right.
Yes, no,
Like
I do get it.
like people don't realize how creative soundtracks get.
No, like I do get it. Trust me, I have played a lot of music before.
I know you have. Let me nerd out. I don't get to do this at home. Not joking. I don't get to do this at home.
Yeah, that's also fair. Hey, you know what?
Hmm.
Teach Lyndon this when he actually starts
Oh, I'm
talking.
going to.
Great.
I plan on having him play piano
We're
lesson.
not telling that Megan this.
Not unless she listens to the episode.
Yep. And it'll be a while.
I know. But I don't know.
Have fun, Megan.
This episode is so much like this movie is so much fun for
Yes.
so many different reasons. Okay, do you have anything else you want to add to about this episode?
No, other than I'm tired now.
And tired and hungry. So,
Well,
well, I hope you enjoyed, friends. If you haven't checked out our episode on Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, check it out. Also, right here.
and if you came from Once Upon a Christmas because you realized that twice was better, thank you.
What was your favorite? Genuinely, like, tell us. Once Upon a Christmas or Twice Upon a Christmas? This one's the right one.
Votes here? Yeah, we'll do it in the next
I'm just
episode.
doing hand gestures. Let us know in the comments.
We'll
And don't forget to tune in to our live stream on New Year's Eve. Fun fact, we'll do lots of reminders. And again, there's a giveaway.
yes, we want to give things away. So,
Yes.
come join.
Yep. Night, friends.
Good night.